Say it with me. Vision is more important than leadership. Say it again. Vision is more important than leadership. One more time, because your mind fights. This vision is more important than leadership. Now listen in carefully. If that sentence troubles you, it's because your culture has trained you to worship personality. We have been taught to applaud confidence, to follow volume, to mistake eloquence for direction. But I came to deliver you from being impressed with a person who cannot tell you where you are going. Some of you came tonight for leadership tips. You wanted charisma tactics. You wanted executive presence. You wanted the handshake, the posture, the tone of voice, the 3 steps to influence people and make them do what you want. But leadership is not cosmetics. Leadership is not cologne. Leadership is not a microphone on a platform. You can polish a car until it shines like a mirror and still not have an address in the GPS. And you can sit in that car, start the engine, press the accelerator, burn up fuel, and look very powerful while going in circles. That is most people's life. Motion without meaning, activity without assignment, noise without navigation. Write this down. Leadership without vision is motion without meaning. The Bible is very plain about this. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. It doesn't say where there is no charisma. It doesn't say where there is no degrees. It doesn't say where there is no title. It says where there is no vision, no redemptive picture, no divine destination, no clear sight. The people cast off restraint. They scatter. They decay. In other words, if you don't know where you're going, anything feels like progress. If you don't know the destination, every road looks like the will of God. So I'm going to govern this whole conversation with one question, and you must keep it in front of you like a sign on the highway. If leadership isn't personality, then what is the actual function of a leader? Because we have hired leaders for charm, elected leaders for charm, married leaders for charm, followed leaders for charm, and then we wondered why we end up in places we never intended. Jesus said in Matthew 15:14, if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Notice the issue is not sincerity. The issue is sight. The crisis is not the followers. The crisis is the leader cannot see. Say it with me one more time and say it like you mean it. Vision is more important than leadership, because vision determines direction, and direction determines destination, and destination determines whether your life is a success or a tragedy. Now keep your ears open, because if you can settle this in your spirit tonight, you will never again be seduced by charisma when God is trying to give you clarity. Now let me attack a myth that has killed more destinies than the devil, because the devil doesn't have to stop you if he can distract you. And one of the greatest distractions in our generation is this modern illusion that charisma is leadership. Write this down. Charisma has become a substitute for competence, for character, and for clarity. If you can talk well, we assume you can lead well. If you can make people laugh, we assume you can make things work. If you can stir emotions, we assume you have a plan. And I came tonight to sober you. Inspiration is not instruction. Excitement is not direction. Volume is not vision. Charisma is real. It is a gift. The word itself comes from the Greek idea of grace, a gifting that attracts. But hear me, magnetism is not a map. Charisma is magnetism. Vision is direction. A magnet can pull metal, but it cannot tell the metal where to go. And that is why crowds gather around personality, but destinies gather around purpose. Crowds gather because they want a feeling. Destiny gathers because it wants a future. A crowd says, make me move. Destiny says, show me the destination. And if you don't know the difference, you will spend your whole life being applauded for motion while you are miles away from your assignment. Let me prove it to you from Scripture. When Jesus fed the multitudes, the crowd loved the miracle, but they did not love the mission. They loved the bread, but they did not love the burden. In John 6, when he began to talk about the cost and the meaning, the Bible says many of his disciples went back and walked with him no more. Charisma can gather them, but only vision can keep the right ones. The crowd is impressed by power. The committed are anchored by purpose. That's why Jesus never asks, how many follow me today? He asks, who understands what I'm here to do? So I'm warning you, and I'm warning you like a father. Stop being impressed with power. Stop being impressed with articulation. Stop being impressed with confidence. Ask the only question that protects your future. Where are we going? because charm can lead people anywhere. A charming man can take a woman into a tragedy. A charming preacher can take a congregation into error. A charming politician can take a nation into a ditch. Jesus said it plainly, if the blind lead the blind, both fall. The issue is not whether he is exciting, the issue is whether he is seeing. Say it with me, charisma attracts, but vision directs. Say it again, charisma attracts, but vision directs. Now listen, if you follow charisma without vision, you will become a passenger in somebody else's confusion. And God did not create you to be carried, he created you to be deployed. So from this night forward, let your spirit become stubborn. Let your discernment become aggressive. When you meet power, don't clap first, question first. When you meet charm, don't surrender first, ask first. Where are we going? What is the destination? What is the assignment? Because destiny is too expensive to be handed to a personality. Write this down and don't let your emotions edit it. The primary function of a leader is to see, not to talk, not to trend, not to entertain, not to collect people. A leader's first assignment is sight. Sight before speech, direction before delegation. Because you can delegate activity and still never arrive anywhere. You can hold meetings every week, post plans on the wall, create committees, write reports, and still be lost because motion is not progress when there is no destination. So let me give you a definition of it, deliver you from title worship. Leadership is the capacity to influence others toward a destination you can see. That's it. Influence toward a destination. Not influence toward your ego. Not influence toward your brand. Not influence toward your need to be needed. Toward a destination you can see. That means if you cannot see, you are not leading. You are only being followed by blind people who are also guessing. And God never called you to guess your way through life. He called you to govern with clarity. Jesus said it with frightening simplicity in Matthew 15:14. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say if the weak lead the weak. He didn't say if the poor lead the poor. He didn't say if the uneducated lead the uneducated. He said if the blind lead the blind. The tragedy is not lack of passion. The tragedy is lack of perception. Some of you are exhausted because you are sincere in the wrong direction. You have been running hard, praying hard, serving hard, giving hard, yet you keep ending up in the same ditch. Why? Because you were never given a destination. You were given a microphone. You were given a role. You were given a routine, but you were not given sight. And this is why organizations collapse while looking busy. They don't fail from lack of activity. They fail from lack of clarity. People confuse movement with momentum. Momentum is movement with meaning. Momentum is movement with a map. When a company doesn't know what problem it was born to solve, every new idea looks like vision. When a church doesn't know what it is sent to produce, every new program feels spiritual. When a family doesn't know what it is building, every argument becomes a lifestyle. Write this down. When the destination is not defined, frustration becomes normal. So I'm calling you tonight into a higher standard of discernment. Before you follow anybody, before you join anything, before you invest your years, ask one question. What do you see? Not what do you feel? Not what do you promise? Not how loud you are. What do you see? Because the one who sees can correct the one who is busy. The one who sees can calm the one who is anxious. The one who sees can say, this is the way, walk ye in it. And if you will demand sight, you will never again be seduced into a ditch by enthusiasm without vision. Now, if the primary function of a leader is to see, then we have to ask a more dangerous question. Where does sight come from? Because vision is not born in a meeting. Vision is not manufactured by a strategic plan. Vision is not a slogan on a wall. Vision is not a New Year's resolution. Vision is born when identity is recovered. Write this down. You cannot lead what you have not discovered about yourself. You cannot govern what you have not understood about your own design. That's why some people can manage others, but they cannot manage themselves. They can motivate a team, but they cannot direct their own life. They have learned performance, but they have never met the person performing. You see, we have trained people to build a life from the outside in. We tell you, get a position, get a title, get a platform, get a microphone, and then we hope you will eventually find yourself. But God does it the other way around. The Creator always begins with the unseen. Before he ever put Adam in a garden, he put purpose in the man. Before he ever gave him a location, he gave him an identity. Before there was a job description, there was design. Hear me. You were created with purpose before you were given a position. Jeremiah 1:5 is not poetry, it is policy. God said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee. In other words, there was an assignment on you before there was an address for you. That means your life is not an experiment. Your life is not a mistake that God is trying to fix. Your life is not an afterthought. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Say it with me, and say it like you're taking responsibility, not getting hyped. Say it. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. Say it again. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. One more time. And let it offend your excuses. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. Now listen, if you are an assignment, then you are accountable. Assignments are not entertainment. Assignments require discovery, discipline, and deliverables. An assignment means there is something you were sent to solve, something you were sent to build, something you were sent to correct. And until you accept that, you will keep begging people for permission to be who you already are. This is why identity is the foundation of vision. When you don't know who you are, you let people name you. When you don't know your value, you accept any price. When you don't know your purpose, you call busyness obedience. Proverbs 19:21 says, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So the question tonight is not, what do they want me to be? The question is, what did the manufacturer intend when he made me? Because only the Creator knows the reason for a creation. And when you find that reason, you don't need charisma to lead, you have clarity. You don't need noise, you have direction. Vision begins the moment you stop performing for acceptance and start pursuing revelation of design. That is the beginning of sight. That is the recovery of identity. And identity is the womb of vision. Now, if identity is the womb of vision, then we must go back to the manufacturer's manual and read the original job description, because you cannot claim leadership as a promotion when God wrote it into your design. Write this down. The first leadership seminar in the Bible is Genesis 1:26. God is not speaking to Adam. Adam is not even formed yet. God is speaking to himself. And that means what is about to be said is policy, not suggestion. He says, let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have dominion. Did you hear that? He did not say, let them have a title. He did not say, let them have a pulpit. He did not say, let them have followers. He said, let them have dominion. Dominion is the assignment of the human spirit. Dominion is the original job description. Now, I need to correct something before your flesh runs away with this word. Dominion is not domination. Dominion is not abuse. Dominion is not control of people. Dominion is stewardship of purpose. It is responsibility over resources. It is the mandate to cultivate, manage, protect, and multiply whatever heaven entrusts to you. In Genesis 2, the Bible says God put the man in the garden to dress it and to keep it. That's dominion. Develop it and defend it. Improve it and preserve it. Make it better than you found it. So if your leadership destroys what you touch, you are not operating in dominion. You are operating in dysfunction. Dominion produces fruit. Dominion produces order. Dominion produces increase. That's why God blessed them before he commanded them, because the capacity came before the responsibility. Now listen to me carefully. Dominion demands vision. You cannot govern what you cannot conceive. You cannot manage what you cannot imagine. You cannot multiply what you cannot see as possible. That's why leadership is first sight. When God said, let them have dominion, he was saying, let them be responsible for bringing my invisible intent into visible reality. And that requires a picture. That requires a preferred future. That requires you to see what should be, not just complain about what is. The tragedy is not that people lack power. The tragedy is they lack a picture. And when you lack a picture, you will misuse your power on anything that moves. So say it with me and let it settle in your bones. Leadership is not a promotion, it is a design. Say it again. Leadership is not a promotion, it is a design. So at B's leadership, now one more time, because this will deliver you from title worship. Dominion is my original assignment, and dominion demands vision. Now watch this, because if you miss this, you will keep asking God for a new season when heaven is trying to give you a new mind. Write this down. Leadership is 80% mentality and 20% skill. Most people think leadership is training, technique, and talent. No, talent is what you can do. Mentality is what you believe you're allowed to do. And the tragedy is you can have a gift that could change a city and a belief system that keeps you trapped in a corner. You don't rise to your talent, you fall to your belief. Say it with me. I do not rise to my talent, I fall to my belief. Say it again, because your history is arguing with you. I do not rise to my talent, I fall to my belief. The Bible says in Proverbs 23:7, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Notice it doesn't say as he thinks in his head. Your head is your thoughts, your heart is your belief system, your heart is your hard drive. Your heart is the software running in the background when nobody is watching you. When you are tired, when you are under pressure, when you are rejected, when you are tempted, the real you shows up, not your Sunday vocabulary. That's why Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Your words expose your program. And if your program is small, your vision will be small. You will call fear wisdom. You will call compromise peace. You will call procrastination waiting on the Lord. But it is not spiritual. It is a belief limitation. Let me give you a picture. The elephant is massive. He has power. He has weight. He has capacity. But you can tie him with a little rope when he is young, and he will never break it when he is grown, because his mind is trained to accept limitation. And then there is the lion. The lion doesn't have to be the strongest animal, but he believes something about himself. His attitude interprets the world. His eyes see an obstacle, and his belief says, that's lunch. The lion walks into a situation and doesn't ask, can I? He declares, I was born for this. Hear me. Strength is not enough. Resources are not enough. Education is not enough. If your mentality is wrong, you will use your strength to serve your fear. So the real enemy is not competition. The real enemy is not lack of money. The real enemy is not your background. The real enemy is small thinking and tolerated limitations. You have lived too long with a speed limit in your mind. And God is saying, I can't show you the destination because you won't believe you can get there. Ephesians 3:20 says, he is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. That means the ceiling is not in heaven, it's in you. Write this down. Your belief system is the womb of your vision. Change what you believe and you will change what you can see. Now, with that in your spirit, I want to show you the womb where vision is often conceived, and it is not comfort. Write this down. Toleration is the graveyard of leaders. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Say it with me. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Say it again, because some of you have been tolerating things so long, you call them normal. Leadership is born when toleration ends. And here is the law. You cannot pray away. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. You can shout, you can sing, you can attend conferences, you can lay hands on it, but if you keep accepting it, you keep authorizing it. Toleration is permission in slow motion. Vision begins the day you decide this will not continue. That sentence is the birth cry of every reformer, every pioneer, every builder, every deliverer. Because vision is not just a picture of the future. It is a protest against the present. Let me say it plainly. Your future will keep waiting while you keep excusing. And some of you have spiritualized your excuses. You have called dysfunction my personality. You have called disobedience my weakness. You have called delay God's timing. But the Holy Spirit is saying, stop tolerating what I already told you to confront. Think about that woman, Rosa Parks. One day she sat on a bus and she did something that looked small, but it was huge. She did not start with a microphone. She started with a decision. She did not start with a crowd. She started with conviction. And I can hear her spirit saying, I have prayed and I have cried and I have endured, but now I will be active. That's leadership. That's vision. She saw a different world and she refused to cooperate with the old one. Hear me. Leaders are not born when they get elected. Leaders are born when they get tired of the unacceptable. So I'm coming down your street now. What are you tolerating in your body? Are you tolerating exhaustion, sugar, neglect, no discipline, then asking God for healing while you keep feeding the disease? In your marriage, are you tolerating silence, disrespect, emotional distance, and calling it peace because you hate conflict? In your work culture, are you tolerating dishonor, laziness, lying, mediocrity, and saying, that's just how this place is? While your gift is dying in the corner? In your spending, are you tolerating impulse and debt, then sowing seeds and calling it faith? Even in your prayer life, are you tolerating prayers but no obedience, devotion but no decisions, spirituality but no strategy? Write this down and don't argue. The moment you refuse, your vision gets clear, because refusal is the doorway to revelation. When you say this will not continue, heaven responds with, now let me show you what can. And tonight, I want you to make a decision that scares your old self. Say it with me. I will not tolerate what cancels my assignment. Say it again. I will not tolerate what cancels my assignment. Now go home and identify one unacceptable thing, write it down, and confront it within 24 hours. One call, one boundary, one budget, one apology, one schedule, one act of obedience. Because vision is not born in wishes. It is born in refusal. Now, after you refuse the unacceptable, you're going to be tempted to do something very religious and very dangerous. You're going to wait for somebody to recognize you. You're going to wait for a title, wait for a pulpit, wait for a badge, wait for a corner office. Write this down. Title worship is the burial ground of purpose. Because when you worship titles, you postpone function. And heaven never anoints your title, heaven anoints your assignment. Let me teach you leadership the way God teaches it, through design. Think about a car engine. I want to ask you a question and I want you to answer it out loud in your house, in your car, wherever you are. Who is the leader in the engine? Come on. Who is the leader? Is it the piston? Is it the spark plug? Is it the fuel injector? Is it the crankshaft? Is it the timing belt? Who is the leader? Here's the answer that will set you free. No one and everyone. No one leads the whole engine by itself. And everyone leads in their area of function. The spark plug doesn't try to be the alternator. The alternator doesn't compete with the radiator. They don't have insecurity, they have clarity. They don't need applause, they need alignment. And if one part refuses to function, the whole system suffers. A $4 wire, a small terminal, can shut down a vehicle worth $40,000. That means significance is not measured by size, it's measured by necessity. So write this down. Leadership is not a seat. Leadership is responsibility for a domain. Leadership is not rank. Leadership is function. Jesus said, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship, but ye shall not be so. Luke 22:25-6. In the kingdom, greatness is not position. Greatness is service. That means you can be the janitor and still be leading cleanliness. You can be the administrator and still be leading order. You can be the mother in the house and still be leading atmosphere. You can be the quiet one in the team and still be leading excellence. If you have a function, you have leadership. Say it with me. If I have a function, I have leadership. Say it again and let it break your intimidation. If I have a function, I have leadership. Now I'm going to confront you because your miracle is on the other side of this direction. Stop waiting to be appointed. Stop waiting to be discovered. Stop waiting for permission to function. The graveyard is full of potential leaders who died with resumes and never deployed their gift. Function where you are. Serve what you see needs to be fixed. Bring your competence to the chaos. Because when you begin to function, God begins to promote not your title, your territory. And this week, I want you to identify your domain. What do you consistently do well that helps others? Write it down. Then take responsibility for it like a leader, because you are one. Now watch this. Because if you don't catch this distinction, you will keep living beneath your vision while calling it humility. Write this down. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Employment is a contract. Deployment is a calling. A job is an agreement between you and a company. Work is an agreement between you and your creator. And some of you are confusing your paycheck with your purpose. You are thanking God for provision, but you are ignoring the reason you were provided for. Your job can change next month. They can transfer you, fire you, downsize you, relocate you. But if they fire you, your gift goes with you. Because your gift is not owned by your employer. Your gift is embedded in your identity. Now hear me carefully. Vision is what identifies your assignment, and your gift is the vehicle. Vision tells you where you're going. Gift tells you how you'll serve when you get there. That's why charisma is dangerous when it replaces gift. Charisma tries to sell your personality. Vision demands that you serve your value. Charisma says, look at me. Gift says, let me help you. And the kingdom is not built by impressive people. It is built by productive people. Jesus said in John 15:8, herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. Not that you make much noise. Not that you collect many compliments. Fruit, value, results, service. So I want to diagnose you tonight, because your future is hidden in your answers. What do you do so effortlessly that other people call it amazing? What do you do that when you finish, you feel alive, you feel light, you feel like you're in your element? What problem do you keep noticing everywhere you go? Because your assignment is often revealed by what irritates you. Nehemiah didn't build a wall because he wanted a title. He built a wall because a burden gave him vision. And what do people repeatedly ask you for? They call you at midnight for what? Advice, organization, prayer, design, numbers, teaching, comfort, repair. That repetitive demand is a clue to your gift, and your gift is proof of your responsibility. Write this down. God never gives gifts for decoration. He gives gifts for distribution. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another. 1 Peter 4:10. That means your gift is not for you to feel special. It is for you to solve a problem. So don't despise your job, but don't deify it either. Use employment as the training ground, the seed money, the practice field while you pursue deployment. Because when vision becomes clear, your life stops being a career and starts being an assignment, and you stop asking, what do they want me to do? And you start asking, what was I born to deliver? Now let me give you a blueprint so simple, your excuses are going to get nervous. Because some of you love inspiration, but you hate instruction. Write this down. Vision becomes leadership when it is articulated, documented, and deployed in service, not when it is admired. Not when it is discussed, not when it is confirmed for 10 years. Leadership is vision in motion, and vision in motion has a pattern. 4 steps. Say them with me. See it, say it, write it, serve it. Again, see it, say it, write it, serve it. Step 1, see it. Define the destination in 1 sentence. 1, not a paragraph, not a speech, not a poem. 1 sentence. A preferred future that serves people and honors God. Nehemiah could have said, the wall will be rebuilt and the reproach removed. That's sight. Jesus could say, I must be about my Father's business. That's sight. Habakkuk 2:1 says, I will stand upon my watch and will watch to see what he will say unto me. Do you hear that? Watch to see. Vision is sight. So I want you to compress your assignment until it is clear enough to repeat and strong enough to guide decisions. If you can't say it in 1 sentence, you don't own it yet. Step 2, say it. Because words create alignment. Words gather people who are supposed to help you, and words repel people who are supposed to leave you. Leaders don't talk about people, they talk about purpose. They don't spend their vocabulary criticizing, they spend it clarifying. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So stop announcing your frustration and start announcing your destination. Say it until your team can say it. Say it until your home can say it. Say it until your own fear gets tired of arguing. Step 3, write it. Write this down, literally, write it down. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, that he may run that readeth it. What is not documented becomes diluted. What is not written gets edited by moods, by pressure, by relatives, by culture. You don't protect vision with passion, you protect vision with paper. Put it where you can see it so you can't pretend you forgot. Step 4, serve it. Because vision is not proven by announcements, it is proven by value delivered. Jesus said, by their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Fruit is measurable service. Fruit is solve problems. Fruit is transform lives. Stop chasing followers, build fruit. When you serve the vision, God sends the people. When you deploy your gift in love, leadership becomes inevitable. So say it with me and let it become your standard. I will see it, I will say it, I will write it, and I will serve it. Now go do it today. Now hear me, because this is where this generation is being seduced. Write this down. Don't chase followers, build fruit. We have produced a culture of influence without substance, popularity without purpose, microphones without maps. People are asking, how do I grow my platform? Wrong question. The question is, what problem was I born to solve? Because leaders don't seek followers. Followers are attracted to leaders. And what attracts them is not your volume, not your vocabulary, not your wardrobe, not your charisma, clarity, and results. When vision is clear, your life starts to make sense, and sense is magnetic. When fruit is visible, credibility is automatic. Jesus said, by their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Not by their likes, not by their comments. Fruit. Charisma can gather a crowd for a night, but charisma cannot carry you through resistance. Personality cannot sustain hardship. Charm fades when criticism comes. Style disappears when the bills are due. But vision survives delays. Vision survives betrayal. Vision survives being misunderstood. That's why Nehemiah could keep building with a sword in one hand and a tool in the other, because he wasn't building for applause, he was building for assignment. And Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15:58, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Not the talk, the work. Vision gives you stamina because it gives you a destination bigger than your emotions. So let me give you traction without hype. Practical daily proof. First, align your decisions to the vision. Every day ask, does this take me toward the sentence I wrote or away from it? If it doesn't serve the destination, it is a distraction. Wearing makeup. Second, cut distractions aggressively. Some of you are not under attack, you're under entertained. You're not tempted by sin, you're tempted by options. And options can kill purpose faster than opposition. Hebrews 12:1 says, let us lay aside every weight. A weight is not a sin, it's just heavy. Put it down. Third, choose a few metrics that prove progress. Write this down. What you don't measure, you can't manage. If your vision is to restore families, measure counsel sessions completed, marriages mentored, hours invested. If your vision is to build excellence at work, measure projects, ship errors reduced, customers served. If your vision is to grow disciples, measure consistent gatherings, scriptures learned, people served. Keep it simple, keep it honest, keep it visible. Now say it with me, and don't say it like poetry, say it like responsibility. I will not chase followers, I will build fruit. Say it again, I will not chase followers, I will build fruit. Because the proof of vision is fruit, and fruit attracts. When you produce, you don't have to promote. When you serve, you don't have to sell. Let your vision do the talking, and let your fruit do the recruiting. Now, I'm going to end this the way leaders end things, with activation. Because vision is not inspiration, vision is instruction. Write this down. God does not show you a picture to entertain you. He shows you a picture to enlist you. Some of you have been praying about what you already saw. You keep asking God for direction, and heaven is saying, I gave you sight move. James 1:22 says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. That means you can shout amen and still be in self-deception if you don't obey what you know. So say it with me, and say it like a vow, not like a song. Say it, I was born to lead. Say it again, I was born to lead. Now say it, I am deployed. Say it again, until your fear quiets down. I am deployed. Now say it, my life has a destination. Say it again, and let it offend your randomness. My life has a destination. You are not a wanderer. You are not a drifter. You are not a consumer. You are on assignment. Now here is your immediate homework, and if you are serious, you will do it before you sleep. First, write a one-sentence vision for your life or your domain. One sentence. Plain, clear, service-centered. This is the future I am responsible to create with God. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Plain means your mind can't hide from it. Second, list one tolerated issue you will confront this week. One, not 10. One unacceptable thing you will no longer authorize. One boundary, one hard conversation, one budget decision, one schedule change. Remember what I told you. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. Third, identify one gift you will serve today. Today, not next month, not when they call you. Serve it where you are. Send a message, make the call, volunteer, create the draft, teach the lesson, solve the problem. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another. 1 Peter 4:10. That's not a suggestion, that's a command. And here is the paradox that will keep you free. Charisma can open doors, but vision keeps them open. Personality may introduce you, but purpose sustains you. So go and function, go and serve, go and produce fruit. Don't just pray for change. Obey what you can see. And when you move, heaven will meet you in motion.